Today I was watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon, all right? I confess it. And Jerry and Tom are chasing each other around a room in a circle and just going and going and going, running in circles. And then all of a sudden Jerry just stops and steps out of the side of the circle. And of course, Tom the cat keeps running in a circle until of course Jerry, trips him and has him fall in a flower pot or something like that. Anyway, I was watching that and it was in my mind. And then I read this little bit of scripture from Swami Vivekananda, and it reminded me of it. So I'm going to share it from that perspective. Never think that you can make the world better or happier. The bullock in the oil mill never reaches the wisp of hay that is dangling before his face. He only grinds out the oil in the mill, walking in circles. So we chase the will-o-wisp of happiness in life, which always eludes us. And we only grind nature's mill and then die and merely begin again. So you see, on the material perspective, the scriptures aren't dressing this up for us. They're telling us like it is, that this world is a grind and that everything here is temporary, and that seeking our happiness and a better world is a circular endeavor. He says if we could get rid of evil, we should never have a glimpse of anything higher, which is interesting, that there is a role for the imperfection and for the ignorance in our life, that it keeps us uncomfortable, it keeps us looking, it keeps us searching, it keeps us looking for higher ideals and higher principles. We would never catch a glimpse of anything higher. We should be satisfied and never struggle to get free. So our delusion and our slavery to our senses and to the material world would be permanent. So it's grace that allows us to suffer. Your misery is a sign of grace. It's a sign of love. It's God that's kind of continually poking you to win the race, to get up, keep going, keep striving. He says, when man finds that all searching for happiness in matter is nonsense, then religion begins. Indeed, when you finally have purchased your X number car and you've realized that everything that you've ever looked for happiness and fulfillment in this life has had an expiration date, that your new car is only new until the first scratch, and then you have to begin again, start saving up for that replacement. When the latest processor comes out for the new computers and your 1985 Mac Plus isn't cutting it anymore, you're back on the treadmill. Once one paycheck comes and that bank account gets filled up, and by the end of the month it's empty again. Round and round and round it goes. And those who can manage to be ahead with each paycheck, so they get bigger houses and bigger cars, which means more maintenance and more stress, more anxiety, more loss when they fall away, when they wear out, when they burn up, when they float away, whatever the thing may be. All of the things in the material world cannot last and do not last. And as long as we keep pursuing them for our happiness cannot last. It's all temporary, and round it goes. And when we come to the idea, to the understanding, this is nonsense. What kind of rigmarole roundabout am I engaged in here? What treadmill am I running on? And have I had enough? And when one is brave enough inside to kind of admit that, well, maybe there's nothing here, which does take a certain amount of courage to accept or to even consider, because I know from my own experience the next big question is, well, where do I go from here? He says, when man finds that all searching for happiness in matter is nonsense, then religion begins. All human knowledge is but a part of religion. In the human body, the balance between good and evil is so even that there is a chance for a man to wish to be free from them both. And this is that quest for our realization, to know ourselves as spirit, which is why matter can never fulfill, to understand that we are separate from body and mind, which is why we've never been touched, why we've never had a sufficient embrace, why we have never experienced that oneness with this material world. It's an impossibility because our nature is transcendent. Our nature is bigger. Our nature is permanent and has a delightful, infinite beauty to it that we can't find mirrored in this world, that we can't add to anything in ourself. And so by knowing who you are, by coming to that understanding of the nature of your divine self, which is spirit and not material, not matter, well, there's a deep, deep well of bliss waiting for us. There's a deep, deep well of contentment waiting for us. Be brave. Keep fighting, keep searching, keep looking. Don't give up. Don't give in to depression, to hopelessness, to negativity. Always know there's plenty for you, and it is yours already. Close your eyes, watch your breath, and settle into it.